Hey everybody, Dr. Kyle here. Workout number 6 in the Fundamentals of Fitness program. The clock is running and we're going to get right to our workout today. We're working on our second time around on the pull and hinge patterns. Okay, so as always, we're going to warm up accordingly. If you've been following along, last workout I found that I'm just getting a little bit limited through my upper mid back, and that's going to be a huge component of the pull portion of the pull pattern. So we're going to take the time to warm that up. Today, I've got a number of supplies out here, but I'll show you some variations for warm-up. So we're going to start in a 5-month side lying position, and we're going to do a nice little thoracic spine mobility drill. So I'm going to lie on my side with my top arm underneath me. So I don't want you to be on your shoulder blade. I want you to get that top arm right underneath you. So you're active through the core. And then I'm just going to use this foam roller as a little cue. You don't need it, but it's really nice to be able to tuck this foam roller under this top leg. Okay, so we're going to pin the foam roller down with that top leg. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach forward, mobilizing my scapula on the downside. And then I'm going to open up like a big book here, but I'm going to make sure I don't lose this foam roller. So I'm going to keep nice and active through that knee. And I'm going to go for 6 to 10 reps, depending on how I feel here on each side. Okay, and remember, like we talked about in our mobility and recovery session, the head is attached to the thoracic spine, obviously, through the cervical spine, and the body can't go where the head's not looking, or it's not really natural. So make sure you follow your hand with your eyes as you reach open, keeping pressure down here. We're gonna go for 8 reps on each side. Last one here. Really gonna hold onto that roller, the top knee. Really linking the upper and lower body, spin around here. I'm gonna hit the other side. So again, 90 degrees, get that shoulder right up underneath you. Top leg comes up and over, pins that roller. This side's gonna be much worse for me. Reach across and open up. Much tighter. I'm gonna get my 8 reps in. So just because of our society and culture that we live in, we spend a lot of time in a flexed forward thoracic spine position. Very, very, very common. But a lot of movements, pulling patterns, especially, require really good thoracic spine mobility into extension, which is the opposite of forward flexion or forward bending, so arching your back backwards. And so that's why it's important that you see a lot of thoracic mobility drills in our warm-ups and cool-downs. It's because it's so vital to our performance of these things. Okay? So now I'm going to go into an adductor hip hinge position. Okay? So what I'm going to do here is take this mat, this dowel, okay, and I recommend this for your first set just to get the feel for your spinal position. I'm going to get down on my one knee and stretch my right leg out. Okay, you might want a towel or a mat or a pillow for your knees. I'm going to take this dowel or hockey stick, broomstick, golf club, and I'm going to lock one hand on my low back here so you can see in this direction, and the other on the back of my head. Okay? Once I've got that position and I've got a neutral spine, I'm going to keep those in contact. I'm going to hinge forward, boom, and up and through the hips. And I'm going to do 10 reps on each side here. 2, 3. So now we're working on the hinge pattern, but we're also really mobilizing the inside of this right leg, really working on that spinal position. I'm going to add some weight to this with a plate, but I prefer you start with this variation here, just so that we keep that spinal position. It's very easy to round your back with this warm-up drill. So keeping that hand in contact with the head and the low back at all times. 10 reps in, I'm gonna switch sides. So again, I'll show you from a little bit of a different angle here. Left leg outstretched, and there, feel a little tighter in this inside of this left thigh. Really finding it a little more difficult to keep that nice spinal position. So I'm just gonna fight for it here in the warm up. Really trying to keep that flat back, grooving the hinge pattern, grooving the single leg hinge pattern, because we're going to be getting into that today. Feeling a little bit better here after a couple reps. Getting better mobility. Okay, got my 10 reps in there. And then what I'm going to do here is some low trap raises, okay? So I do this from a lying position. And I like to have a foam roller to pin down with my off arm, okay? So what I'm going to do here, this is basically a Y pattern. I'm going to do it lying down, and then I'm going to do it standing for the next 2 rounds. Okay, but I'm going to start by gluing my forehead to my mat, pushing into the foam roller so I've got active shoulders here. And then what I'm going to do is lift one arm at a time. And I want to try and imagine tucking my shoulder blade on the right side into my left back pocket. Squeeze down and back to the roller, and then up, left side. And we're going to go for 8 reps on each side here. Keeping those thumbs pointed up towards the ceiling. Squeeze, tuck into the back pocket. And you really want to try not to rotate your body to do this. Keep that forehead glued to the mat. Okay, got my reps in. We may only get 2 rounds of warm up in today, but that's okay. We've got some more complicated positions, which is good. We're gonna just get a little bit of extra mobility work in this warm up. So sideline T-spine rotation. Gonna lock that down here, top leg. This doesn't have to be a foam roller. You can put a pillow under there and just try and lock down or press down into the pillow. I'm just trying to have something here that I can maintain contact with at all times. Really rolling forward on that shoulder blade, so we're mobilizing the downward shoulder. And I'm already feeling a lot better here after a couple rounds of work. Right side starting to match left side. Going for 8 reps. 7 there. 1 more. Nice 5-month sideline position. One of my favorites. Can do so many different mobility drills from that position. Good for the shoulders, good for the hips. Okay, again, right arm's tucked up underneath. Okay, nice and solid. Pin this top knee down onto a roller, a book, a stack of books, a pillow. 8 reps. Reach forward, roll your body over that top shoulder, and then reach up behind.
switch it around. Try and show a slightly different angle here. Okay, now I'm going to work this left side. Now this was significantly more difficult for me last time around, which really made me think that instead of adding weight, getting overzealous, that I should really just focus on biomechanics to see I'm struggling to open up through this left hip. Feeling a lot tighter on this left side. So it's good that I'm not pushing it. It's important, as we've said throughout, to listen to your body. It's telling me today that while my goal might have been to add a little bit of load to this warm-up drill, I needed to prepare a little bit more. I'm listening to it and I'm addressing it. And it's getting better. I'm gonna do 2 more reps here. Definitely getting warm. Love this drill for getting into the hips. Cueing that single leg hip hinge pattern, feeling good. Got all my reps in, single leg hinge style. Now, I'm gonna do some low trap raises from a standing position. So, I'm gonna take my foam roller, put it up on the wall, overhead. Nice wide grip. I'm gonna press my hands into the roller, and I'm gonna pin the roller as I raise one arm down the back, tuck that shoulder blade into my back pocket, and then the opposite side, same thing. Press into the roller, lock it down, raise, and we're going 8 reps each side here. Really pushing into the roller, so now not only are we getting that good low trap activation on the arm that's lifting, but we're also getting some great serratus anterior activation on the arm that's pinning the roller on the wall. That co-contraction is what creates stability around the joint, so we're really training the muscles around the shoulder blade. This is my 6th rep on each side. I got 2 more. Or maybe that's my 7th. This will be my last one. Feeling really good, feeling really warmed up. I've got great control over the movement pattern. That's the point. Okay, so let's talk about the workout real quick. We have about 45 seconds and we're getting right to it. We're doing the same as we have the previous 2 workouts. 45-second work period, 15-second rest period, 6 moves, okay? And they're all pull or hinge variation patterns. And we're gonna, as always, start with the lowest variations in round 1 and work our way into some higher level variations. All right, we're gonna start with a dumbbell curl, and I'm actually gonna do this first round lying down, okay? So I'm gonna go left arm first, and then right arm, lying dumbbell bicep curls, okay? So really working that pull pattern. I'm gonna lock my elbow into the ground, and I'm just curling up to my chest, and then lowering in control, okay? So what this does is it's taking gravity out of the equation. It's allowing me to just purely activate my bicep and really work on locking in that shoulder position as I curl to my chest, lower in control. Now your body's gonna want to dump forward as you go here. It's tempting for your shoulder to come up like this. Pack it down and back. Really work only that bicep in this pulling movement. Lock that shoulder position in. Okay, perfect. So we're gonna go on the right side. Again, it's an extended warm-up in round 1. We're gonna progress to harder variations throughout and potentially add a little load. Okay, so here we go. Squeeze, lower in control, pack that shoulder. Don't let your shoulder cheat. shoulder packed, that elbow down nice and tight. Just working on only that curl pattern. So then what we're going to do is we're going to take this up and control it against gravity in round 2. And down. Okay, now bear position row. I'm going to just start with my light weight.
We're going to be in a bear position, but we're not going to lift our knees. So we're in a quadruped position or bear, okay? And I'm just going to row to the side, down to the mat, up to the side, down to the mat, okay? I want you to keep nice and flat across your back, good spinal position. So for me, I've got to really focus on getting my chin tucked, not round through my thoracic spine. Active through this front hand. So I'm actively pushing down into the mat with my front hand, or my plant arm, my right arm, squeezing to the side, lowering in control. Okay, switching arms. Same thing, opposite side. Okay, left arm, plant, right arm, row. Now, in a row position, this applies to all of our rows, which is a pull pattern. Okay, the elbow does not need to come past the shoulder. Okay, we just want to see the elbow come to 90 degrees. You're putting that dumbbell in your side pocket, lowering in control. Roll your shoulder blade around your rib cage, just like we did that low trap raise where we tried to tuck it in the opposite back pocket. I want you to do the same thing here as you row, active through the front arm. Now this bear variation, we're going to be coming up onto the knees, then we're going to add a little weight, then we're going to add a little isometric hold at the top. Beautiful. Great pattern. Okay, I'm going to take my foam roller, but you can use anything here to create some tension between your toes and your hands. So you could use your broomstick, dowel, hockey stick you use in the warm-up, and I'm actively going to push my right leg back as I do a single leg hip hinge, and then bring my feet up and through, repeat, okay? And we're really working on maintaining that single leg stability. Now, if this is really difficult for you to do, all you have to do is take your offhand and add a little bit of assistance. Get used to the pattern. This activates the core here, creates some tension throughout the midsection, allows you to keep a nice flat back. We're grooving the pattern so that we can add a little bit of weight in rounds 3, 4, and or 2, 3, and 4. Good. Time is done. On to the opposite side. Okay, so same thing. I'm going to keep tension between. I'll show you the variation with the hockey stick, broomstick. So on the toes, keep some tension between these two things here. Pushing back. This is creating some nice core tension. It's really going to help with balance, which is often an issue here. Now, very important with a single leg hinge. Don't open up as you come down, okay? Nobody needs to see what's going on here. Keep that closed up so your pelvis is nice and flat, okay? Level hips. That's where we're working that true hip stability that we're looking for in that single leg hinge. And that's the point of us using the cue in the warm-up to keep our spine position nice and flat, not to rotate throughout. Good. Time. Nice little warm-up round. Catch your breath. Take a drink. Okay. So now, dumbbell bicep curls. We're coming up into a tall kneeling position. Okay, so we're changing the base of support. We've gone from lying on our back. Now we're going to come into tall kneeling, and then we're going to be going into standing or split kneeling and then standing. So we're just changing the stability requirements of the movement. I'm also going to add a little bit of weight. I felt like that last round was maybe a little bit easy for me, so I've only gone up 5 pounds here. Just do with what you have at home. Okay, tall kneeling here. So we're going to tuck that pelvis under, get that nice spinal alignment. In 45 seconds here, I'm going to keep that core nice and tight and curl, squeeze at the top, but I want you to think about keeping your elbow tight to the side like you did when you were lying on the ground. Okay, so this is where we prepped that perfect pattern with a lying position, and now I want you to take those mechanics and apply them to a position that has a different stability requirement, different base of support, really isolating that bicep. But if you're doing this properly and you've got the right amount of tension in your core, ribs down, abs crunched, you're fighting for that isolated movement. This is as much of a core exercise, full body exercise as anything. Yeah, the weight's targeting the biceps, but we're coordinating everything through the core. So we're really working on the fundamental control of a pull pattern. Same thing here. Tuck my pelvis under, spinal alignment, lock in that core position, squeeze, lower and control, squeeze, lower and control. Now, as far as grip variations, the underhand grip is going to be the hardest to control. The neutral grip is going to be the easiest to control. I like to sometimes alternate between a rotating grip and a strict overhand grip like this. Just depends how I'm feeling set to set, what I'm feeling. If I start to fatigue in this position, I might go down and finish my round in this position. Either way, you're going to be getting the benefits. Great. So now, bear position rows, but we're going to be coming up onto off the knees into a true bear position and adding the row, and I'm going with a light load here. So bear position, stabilize, squeeze arm to the side, lower and control. Okay, squeeze, lower and control. Locking in that bear position, flat back, chin tucked. We're not rotating through here. Pushing through that forward hand to get stability as we raise, squeeze, lower and control. Okay, it's not a race. We're not rushing here. Slow, controlled reps. So smoking out the core, getting active through the shoulders, really priming that beautiful pulling pattern here. Okay. Left arm planted, right arm rowing, wide base of support, squeeze, lower. Squeeze, lower. And I hope you see here, I'm not in a rush to do as many reps as possible in this round because our motto is quality over quantity. I'm trying to really keep a perfect bear position, solid spine, no rotation, isolate that pull. Lower and control. Excellent work. Okay, single leg hinge position. I'm gonna load this up with my lighter weight, okay? I'm gonna go with the contralateral load, so weights in the right arm, stabilizing with my left leg, lower just to about shin height, okay? Pull through. So I don't need to go all the way to the floor. Let's get that flat back position. Weight comes to shin level, pull up and through. Slow and controlled. I want perfect pelvises. Okay, so keeping nice and level through the hips is what I mean by that. And I really want you to focus on keeping your shoulder packed Don't let your shoulder get sloppy here, okay? Pack that shoulder and drop my weight. Coming onto the right side to finish the round. So we've gone up in difficulty here from body weight to loaded. So left arm has the weight, right leg is working, pull up and through, lower and control, nice flat pelvis, lock in those shoulders. Slight bend in the knee, okay? You need that to have dynamic stability around the joint, so we don't want to be locked out. It's going to make you significantly more unstable. Really feeling the outside of those hips going off now. And then what we're going to do is add some load and play with the arm variations here, where we hold the weight, contralateral or ipsilateral. Good, round 2. All done there. Catch your breath, grab a drink, okay? Now our bicep curl variation is going to come into a split kneeling position, okay? We're going to curl with the contralateral hand to the lead leg. So I'm going to go right leg forward to work my left arm, left leg forward to work my right arm. That just gives us a nice crossbody base of support. It's going to match up really well with the bear row that follows, which we're going to add a little bit of weight to this round. Okay, here we go, right leg forward. Gonna get my pelvis tucked, as always, spinal position, tuck my chin. I'm gonna curl here, lower and control, keeping that elbow tight to the side, and just moving through that elbow joint. I don't need you to curl up and through with your elbow here. Keep that elbow locked in, really work that bicep peak contraction at the top. Excellent grip challenge here. I'm not racing to complete my reps here. I know I'm going to get the work in that I need to in 45 seconds. It's a little bit longer training period than we started with. Okay, so again, split kneeling, tuck the pelvis. What I mean by that is get that thing tucked up underneath you. Solid base of support, active through this bottom leg. Okay, actively finding stability. And then I'm going to curl through, keeping those ribs down, abs crunched. You can squeeze your offhand, make a fist, create some more full body tension. And I'm staying nice and stable. I don't want to see a whole lot of rocking and looseness there. Keep those ribs down, abs crunch. Curl through. Rock solid core position here. Lower and control. Okay, I'm going to my bear position rows. Okay, I'm adding weight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to step back in variation. Okay, I'm going with a significantly heavier load here. This really is our highest weight exercise. So I'm going to go back into quadruped or unsupported so that I can work this pattern again with a bigger weight. And then I'm going to go back to bear position rows with this weight in the final round, squeezing to the side, lower and control. So if you have multiple different dumbbells that you can mess around with the load at home, get with me on this variation. If not, I want you to be in that full bear position that we just did in round 2. So I want you to be up on your knees here, rowing through just as I am here, but I'm going to that in the next round, just grooving that higher load in the pull. Right now, getting started. That's going to be a fun round 4. can feel it already. Very grateful that I'm taking my time to earn that other variation. So here we go. Still supported with my knees underneath me. Right arm, row. Now, like I said, same thing here. If you don't have more weight to add, okay, you're working with one single pair of dumbbells at home, I want you back in that bear position here, trying to get your rows in for 45 seconds. Stick with that variation with your lighter load. I'm going back to that next round to really cap off the workout. Time. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is stick with the same weight variation as the single leg hinge from last time, which is weight in the contralateral hand, but I'm just gonna go up in weight, okay? Always pick up your dumbbell, nice and active. Weights in my right hand, working my left leg, and now all I've done is gone up in weight. If you don't have more weight to add, just stick with the previous variation, which is the same thing we're doing here, okay? Contralaterally loaded, so right arm working left leg. We're gonna go with the peak next round, which is ipsilaterally loaded. Challenges that hip stability a little bit further. Lower to shin height, pull up and through. Okay, I'm gonna lower and control. Always pick up your dumbbell nice and active, right? Especially when we start to get up in weight, it becomes much more important to keep good spinal position. So I'm gonna use a nice deadlift here, get my weight up, right leg working, single leg hinge pattern, up and through. Drive that back leg towards the ceiling, get some stability across the hips. Pack that shoulder down and back. So you're locking in the shoulder. You can see the importance of the warm up, getting those shoulder stabilizers nice and active. Pack that shoulder, pull through, maintain your balance. Single leg hinge, adding a little bit of weight in round 3. Same movement pattern, just a little higher load. And time. So I'll be using that again in round 4 for my bear rows. I'm gonna catch my breath here, getting ready for the final round. Okay, 30 seconds to go. We'll be doing standing bicep curls to finish it off. Full body core exercise. Then I'll be doing bear position heavy weighted rows. Okay, if you didn't have extra weight, you're still on that bear position row. Same variation for 3 rounds. It's a challenging exercise. You really don't need any more variation than that. But here we go. Bicep curls. Left arm, standing. Ribs down, abs crunch. Solid base of support. Arm out to the side for counterbalance, create a fist. And I'm gonna really isolate that bicep. Now, if you're getting fatigued from all the curls we've done here, go to a neutral grip or go to a rotating bicep curl where you start neutral and you finish underhand. That's what I'm gonna do here. Get that nice rotating pattern, locking in the elbow. Full body core exercise. If you create that tension and you're trying to isolate that movement in the bicep, time. Nice, very good round for the curls. We're gonna take our time to cool down these muscles through here. What you might not realize is that the curl is part of a row. And we've done a lot of rowing and curling today. So the biceps are really getting a workout We're going to want to make sure we cool down accordingly, so we'll do some self-massage after some recovery breathing, of course, as always. But we still have 4 more intervals to go through, the hardest variations, the heaviest weights of the workout today. I'm still on this rotating curl pattern just because I've got a little pre-fatigue in those biceps, trying to get the most out of this movement. One more rep. Awesome. Lower in control. Okay, so here we go. This is the real deal. Bear position rows with my heavy weight. Okay, so you might still be on bear position rows with your normal weight. That's fine. Here we go. Isolate. Row. Lock in that core position. Row. Now, if you've got heavy weight and you're doing bear position, you really want to take your time between reps. Get stable, locked in the core, row, lower in control. Locking in that core position, wide base of support will help you. One more rep. Lower and rest. Wow. And now we get to do the right side. This is a real treat because we just had some monster pre-fatigue in the bear position with the left arm. We're going to grind out this last round together though. Here we go. Bear position, lock it in, row. Lower in control. This is the point of doing left arm first. Typically, it'll be the weaker side. So we do that first to eliminate the pre-fatigue. But all the pre-fatigue leads up to this. We pre-fatigue the bicep curls for 4 rounds. The row position for 3 rounds up to this one. 2 more reps. One more. Time. Wow. That is tough. Very, very tough. Okay. We're going to finish off with single leg hinges. I've got my heavy weight, and now I'm going to load my ipsilateral arm. So deadlift, grab my weight. This is left arm, left leg. Lower, fight. The urge to tilt open in the hips. I really want you to fight to keep that pelvis down in this one and keep that shoulder packed. Keep the shoulder packed down and back. A lot of focus going into these repetitions for me. I'm really trying to own my spinal position, my hip stability. Difficult to talk with that level of focus and intent, but that's where we should all be training, with that same level of focus and intent. Give everything you've got to every workout. That's what makes you a master of movement. Deadlift position. Final interval. Right leg, ipsilateral load. Really trying to focus on my balance with this weight. Keep this closed down. Fight the urge to rotate open. Keep that flat hip. Back legs up, nice and active. One more rep. Almost done. Pull through in time. Wow, excellent work, everybody. Excellent work. Okay. So, as always, little bit of recovery breathing. We're going to start with that. Then we're going to do a little bit of self-massage for the biceps to try and reset that tissue a little bit. Recovery breathing wise, I'm actually going to put myself in a little bit of a handcuff position, which sounds super interesting, I'm sure. But what I want you to do is take your dumbbell, put it behind you, between your legs. Okay, I'm going to reach behind and grab. I'm going to stand this dumbbell up on its end. I'm going to reach behind, grab the dumbbell, and then I'm going to come into a nice bridge position. Okay, so the weight of the dumbbell is just pulling down on my shoulders. So we're getting a little bit of depression there. Not much. I'm not holding the dumbbell up. Okay, the dumbbell is just a dead weight to pull against. Pull your chest up and through. Nice spinal position. Tuck your toes. And then let's breathe here, okay? In through the nose, hold for a count. Out through the mouth, hold for a count. Now, you can do this position without a dumbbell, okay? You're just gonna grab your wrists or grab your hands together and try and actively pull down towards the ground as you keep your pelvis tucked under, stacked in a neutral spine. I like the dumbbell to give me a little bit of that downward weight, distraction through the shoulders. Really slowing down the heart rate. Mobilizing the shoulders a little bit. Working that pelvic position. 15 more seconds here. Slowing it all down. Getting reset for the week. If you want to sustain, you've got to take this time. It's 5 minutes. It's 5 extra minutes on your workout on your day, and it makes a huge difference in how you're going to feel tomorrow. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put myself in a little bit of a concentration curl position. So I've got my elbow supported on the inside of my thigh. I'm going to grab with my hand, grasp my bicep in an area that might feel tight, and then I'm going to do some body weight curls. So I'm really grasping here, trying to find a tight spot, and I'm going to just move my muscle through its range of motion. Really feel around. Try and find an area that's tight and grasp that spot. Hold on to it as you pull through. Pin that area. Try different positions, whether you're rotated, underhand, overhand. Try getting your thumb in there. We're just trying to do a little bit of self-massage to prevent this bicep from getting sore. 1 minute on each side, so I'm going to split. Go to this side, support my arm, grab an area, and just a little bit of work through here. You want to find that really tight spot in there. Dig your fingers into that area. Mobilize the muscle group underneath by doing the movement pattern. So I'm really pinching it. Oftentimes you'll find with the bicep, it's the distal part or the part that's closest to your elbow that's going to get tight and sore, cranky. You might find some trigger points in there. Really pin those with the thumbs or fingers. Mobilize the tissue. About a minute on each side. Just give it some love, just a little bit. And that's time. So this caps off another week of workouts in our Fundamentals of Fitness program. We have done 6 workouts total. But do not forget your mobility and recovery work this week. That'll be coming at you in the next couple of days. Try your best to get 1 or 2 times around at that workout this weekend, Saturday and Sunday coming up. Ideally, reset your body, get a little bit of movement going. You underestimate the amount of gain you'll get from a little bit of a slow, steady session like that, even muscle gains and cardiovascular gains. So it's very important to take your time to do that this weekend. And then I'm coming back at you on Monday, where we're going to switch gears and we're going to combine all the fundamental movement patterns into some awesome higher pace workouts, keeping the same training ratio likely, and we're just going to push the pace a little bit with some more dynamic stuff. So excellent workout week, and we'll see you guys this weekend for some mobility.